Hey students, whoa, how are you? It's been way too long and I don't usually do these videos for my English 9 class because we have study sync, but I thought I'd drop in and say hello. And I know some of you are working on the Shakespeare videos and I wanted to share with you just a really simple little paper doll monologue that I did. So far I've received one really good, blew my mind, super good video of a student who acted out a scene from Romeo and Juliet. And I've received emails from two of you that have said, I just need to email it to you in video format. And I hope there's more of you that you signed up to do a scene from Romeo and Juliet. And I hope there's more of you that will send it in. So I wanted to share with you what I am my hope is that I will take your videos and I have this little iMovie and I'll merge them together and we'll kind of splice some scenes from Romeo and Juliet together. I hope. And even if it's not, if everybody doesn't do theirs, at least we'll have kind of a viewing at the end of the term, which is in 2 weeks, of some of the stuff that you've been able to do. I am going to merge this with a piece that I did that's really simple, and you can see in iMovies here, I just videotaped some paper dolls. I mean, you'll see. It's all I did was have the paper doll stand there, and you can tell the monologue is being read by the nurse because her mouth is open. It was kind of easy. The only hard part is I know what the words are, so I could show some emotion when the characters were reading their words. I kind of knew what was being said. The language is very difficult, but I promise that what I've given you, most of it's not too difficult. You can figure it out pretty well. Hey, let me know if I can be of any help to you in the Google Classroom. We have 2 weeks left. Next week, you will be reading a short story. It's a really good one. It's called The Gift of the Magi. And doing some study skill activities with that. And then in the last week, I'm going to have you read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. And I hope you enjoy that. That's for our love unit. And so keep up with the study sync activities. That is the primary stuff that I'm using for your grade. I love that you guys are doing PUM for the day, and I certainly am taking that into account for your final grade. But the majority of your points that I'm putting into Synergy come from the study sync activities. Keep up with that. Most of you are doing a really great job. Some of you have not turned in the diction paragraph. Now, if we were in the regular brick and mortar classroom, I would have had you do like 3 separate response to literature pieces. So I really reduced it down. Granted, this is a shorter term than normal, and it's really weird that we're getting used to this like strange distant learning thing. We all need haircuts and going nuts that we can't see our friends. So I really reduced it down and only had you do 1 response to literature piece with your independent reading novel. And that's where I asked you to analyze diction. Most of you did a pretty good job with that. There's a few of you still, you haven't gotten that into me and it's affecting your grade. Make sure when you're writing your think questions, my other piece of advice to you, don't forget our formula. It's the formula you're going to need for all kinds of analytical response to literature type writing, where you have a topic sentence and you integrate clear evidence that you use quotation marks with. That's explicit evidence from the text. And then you end in your thoughts. Don't just drop evidence and that's it. If you're going to cite some evidence, whether it be from the text or you pull something else in, you need to extrapolate on that evidence. You need to explain that evidence. You need to tell me why you threw down evidence and connect it to your topic sentence. Okay? That's my greatest piece of advice. I'm being very generous on your grammar errors. I'm just looking for, did you answer the question? Do you have a clear topic sentence? Do you have evidence? And are you explaining that evidence? And then if I'm seeing that you're doing that, you're getting a full credit for the response to the think questions. Okay? All right, stay strong. I miss you all. I do enjoy seeing you in the Google Classroom, but it certainly is not the same. And let's just stay strong so we can get back to life as we know it. Okay? Miss you. Bye. Enjoy my monologue. And let me know if, these last 2 weeks, if you wanted to get creative, do some paper dolls and read some lines out of Romeo and Juliet. If you look at what Miss Week can do and you're like, I can do that, let me know. Happy to share the fun with you. I'm happy to share the fun. Okay, bye. Oh, I always forget how to do this. Let's see, turn off the... So here is the video I produced. I hope you enjoy. Hello, my 9th graders. I hope this video finds you well. And I wanted to go over with you a possibility. I know I've assigned quite a few of you some scenes to act out with Romeo and Juliet. Some of you have been talking to me about that. And I just wanted to share with you a possibility. If you are still interested in doing a scene from Romeo and Juliet, this is something that you can do. As you see, I made some paper dolls right here. And I am going to just read the lines for a scene. Now the scene I'm going to read involves Juliet, her mother, Lady Capulet, and the nurse. Lady Capulet wants to tell Juliet that a man wants to marry her. And I know this is creepy, but Juliet's only 13 years old. Lady Capulet's going to ask the nurse, nurse, you know how old my daughter is. And the nurse is a loving character. She's raised Juliet, and she's going to do what's called a monologue in which she talks about how well she knows Juliet. Okay? So this is all you would need to do is film your paper doll and then read the lines. So here I have the nurse is the one speaking, and that's the nurse right here. She's the nurse. This is Lady Capulet right here, and this is Juliet right here. Okay, here we go. Take one. Even or odd, of all the days in the year, come Lammas Eve, and at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she. Mary, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never will forget it, of all the days of the year upon that day, for I had then laid the wormwood to my Doug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you, then, at Mantua? Nay, I do bear a brain, but as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my Doug, and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and fall out with the Doug. Shake, quoth the dove house, 'twas no need, I trow. Oh, to bid me trudge, and since that time it is 11 years, for then she could stand high and low, nay, by the rood, she could run and waddle all about, even the day before she broke her brow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon your face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit. Wilt thou not, Jewel? And by holidom, the pretty wretch left crying and said, I see now how a jest shall come about, I warrant, and I should have 1,000 years, I never will forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he, and the pretty fool it stinted and said, I. Enough of this, hold thy peace. Yes, madam, I cannot choose but laugh to think it should leave crying and say I, and yet I warrant it had upon its brow a bump as big as a young cockerel stone, a perilous knock, and it cried bitterly, yea, quoth my husband, fall'st upon thy face. Thou wilt fall backwards when thou comest to age, wilt thou not, Jewel? And it stinted and said I. And stint thou, I pray thee, say I. Peace, I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that ever I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish. Ba-dum! Now I know that was a lot, and I know a lot about the monologue, and so I know actually what's going on. You would have to do a little research. I promise you, though, the pieces that I gave you are not as hard as the monologue. A lot of you, I'm super amazed with one of the pieces that I've already received. But And I promise you, if we string these together, it will make a lot of sense. So I really hope that you partake in this. It will be kind of fun. And my hope is that I get them by May 26th. I can string them together in a video, and we'll see what we come up with. So it'd be great. Let me know how it's going. Okay. All right. Adieu. That's Juliet. Bye, you guys. Bye.